I definitely think there's still, because the majority of the action happens in the 8th and ninth inning of the bull run, especially with altcoins, you can definitely still become a cryptocurrency millionaire, but the question is, how much money do you have to put in to get there?
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Altcoin Daily. My name's Austin, here with my brother Aaron, and of course, Ben Armstrong, founder and host of the largest cryptocurrency channel on YouTube. Ben, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Always love coming on your show. Love you guys. You guys do a great job on your channel, and thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. And let's just start. Would you give us a state of cryptocurrency in May 2021 from your POV?
Yeah, well, it seems like the beginning of every month is great. So right now, I think, things are looking promising. Things are looking good. About halfway through the month, for the last several months, it seems like maybe the narrative shifts a little bit. But everything that we're seeing in cryptocurrency is going right according to plan. I mean, it's going right according to the numbers that we laid out on my channel about a year ago or 6 months ago about where we would think certain things would be at certain points. We haven't nailed, every single price prediction dead to the day. Like, we were about 2 months early on Ethereum to $2,500. A lot of people know that, but it still got there. And it's almost $4,000 as of, earlier today when we're recording this. So when you zoom out, when you look at what's happening in crypto, some people get too caught up in like, oh, well, you said the price is going up this week and then it goes down. But if you zoom out and look at where we're at, this is matching all of our expectations for what we thought was going to happen. So I think in May, it looks like, we're going to see more of that. We're going to see the price continue to go up for Bitcoin. I think we should see it, hitting all-time highs again, either by the end of this month or maybe about the middle of next month. And then in June, we'll probably see a reset of the futures contracts, the quarterly futures contracts, which have a huge, we saw it at the end of March, huge downward momentum and give us a little retracement, a little breathing room, but we're right according to stock to flow. So still on track for, a $200,000 plus Bitcoin.
So would you say that your Bitcoin projections for the end of the year, have you gotten more bullish, less bullish, or is your projections the exact same?
Exactly as I predicted. That's what I think. I mean, honestly, we are right where we should be. If we get to August and we're below $80,000, it'll be time to kind of like think about like, not being so bullish about the top price. But I think definitely sometime over the summer, we're going to hit $100,000. And what people have to remember is when it comes to these bull runs is the 8th and ninth innings. That is when things go the craziest. So if we're at $100,000 at the beginning of September or in the middle of August, it's still very conceivable that like my prediction by the end of September 28th, we can still see a $300,000 Bitcoin. So, when we're looking at all these high price predictions, you just got to remember almost all of the action, happens near the end. That's where things go the craziest. So we can approach, kind of these crazy moon numbers and then still get there because of that upward momentum at the end.
But before we move forward to other coins, you're still sticking with September 28th. Around that time is the cycle top.
Yeah, and I mean, the day isn't necessarily that important. I mean, do I think it'll literally be on that day? I say give or take a week, either direction. So sometime between September 21st and the first week of October, we're right on track. I mean, as long as we stay along the same kind of, progress where, we're moving on average up about, $5,000 to $10,000 a month, somewhere around there. I think it'll get higher as it goes. I do think that's going to be the end. That's based on something called the Bitcoin Golden Bull Cycle Ratio. I think is exactly what that's called by Trading Shot on TradingView. Basically measures that 50% of the bull run happens between the low point of the market and the halving, and then 50% happens, well, it's actually 49%. The 49% happens between the halving and the top of the market, and that would put, the end of September. So I'm looking to take profits. We take profits along the way because, don't be a dummy, make money. But we're looking to pull the majority out sometime between the end of August and, middle of October.
So all metrics for this cryptocurrency bull cycle are pointing to that we're in the middle right now, meaning you could have been earlier, could be a lot later, but the metrics point to a middle. Is it too late for the average person to become a cryptocurrency millionaire in 2021 if they're coming into the space today?
That is a good question. I spend a lot of time thinking about that because, one thing I definitely don't want to, do on my channel is when it hits the point where the risk is higher than the reward that I keep saying buy. And so I spend a lot of time like really thinking about what those numbers look like. And, I definitely think there's still, because the majority of the action happens in the 8th and 9th inning of the bull run, especially with altcoins, you can definitely still become a cryptocurrency millionaire, but the question is, how much money do you have to put in to get there? And so we're looking at, right now, the price of Ethereum being around, $3,500 or $3,000, let's say. And my top prediction's like $27,000. You could say like, okay, like a 9X. So if you had 6 figures right now to put into crypto, you could potentially become a millionaire pretty easily, I think, by the end of this bull run, as long as things continue according to plan. But then when you start looking at altcoins, it's like the longer the cycle goes, the further down CoinMarketCap you have to look to find something that could still give you those kind of like upside, X's. How many X's? 100X, 1,000X, whatever it is. You got to go further down the market cap to find those. Because when you just start looking at like I'm looking at CoinMarketCap right now, and you're looking at anything that is number 17 and below, so number 1 through 17 on CoinMarketCap, I mean, they already all have over $10 billion market caps. So the math just isn't on your favor. It isn't on your side the further up you go. But so I think you can still become a cryptocurrency millionaire, but the amount of money you need to put in is getting higher by the day.
Let me ask you something. Obviously, the most risk-adjusted bet is Bitcoin. That's going to be the safest cryptocurrency you can put your money in. So obviously, there's going to be a risk if you're going for low-cap altcoins. But what do you look for when you're trying to find those special altcoins? Obviously, I want to get in early, but are you looking for like who's behind it? If there's, hedge funds or like that kind of capital, what do you look for personally?
Well, there's 2 different ways of thinking. I've kind of turned away from the more risky stuff. Like over the summer, like we would just throw money in anything, and some of it would get rug pulled, and you would just, it was what it is, part of the game. We're seeing that on Binance Smart Chain right now with a lot of projects that are scammy and rug pulls. But there's certainly a strategy to just, they say it aping into everything. That's what the kids say these days. So you just ape into every coin. You're going to get rug pulled on some are going to go 100X, 1,000X. For that, it really is just a matter of finding where the money is flowing, finding where the whale money is flowing. You getting like in gem hunter groups and just hope you're not getting scammed and pump and dumped, and look in those groups and find out the newest, latest. Because my research team, like, they're giving me coins every day that are like insanely high returns, but some of them are, crashing overnight. Now, we don't talk as much about these anymore because I think with my responsibility of where I'm at in crypto with the channel, that like, it's not responsible of me to give you a coin that may, like you may make a lot of money, but you could also get scammed. So I'm not going to give those, but I see the list. That's a degenerate way of absolutely making a lot of money. But it's really risky. In terms of looking for low cap, like true gems, like ones that are going to be around in, maybe 5 years from now, and they're going to actually have staying value and staying potential, you have to look at who's backing them. Like look at BitClout, for instance. Like I'm not a fan of BitClout because I don't like any projects that are anonymous or pseudonymous outside of Bitcoin anymore. Just too much risk there for me as a content creator to talk about them. But look at BitClout. It's going to do well because you've got Andreessen Horowitz behind it. You've got Naval behind it. You got the Winklevoss twins behind it. You got so much big money behind it. There's something going on there. And so I look at projects like Frontier, backed by Coinbase. That's a low cap gem we've talked a lot about. I think it is, you do have to look at, number one, what are they trying to do? Like if you're looking at a project, let's say the supply chain tracking, for instance, right? VeChain has an absolute like stranglehold on that space right now. I can't even really think of anything that's a good competitor. So if you look at the supply chain tracking space, like, is that hot? Are you really going to have projects outside of VeChain that are going to be crushing it in that niche? No, but you can look at projects like NFT projects or decentralized finance projects. Like DeFi is, one of my passions for sure, because I hate banks so much. The people watching my channel, they know how much I hate them. That's not like talk, like I really do. I've had so many problems with banks, it's insane. But when you look at DeFi projects, those probably have the most bang for their buck because they have staying power. So look for the backers behind them, look at what they're trying to achieve, and say, can they pull this off? So that's really how you find those low cap gems.
What is the biggest opportunity in crypto right now? Is it the low caps? Is it the NFTs? Something else?
I mean, I still think decentralized finance is the biggest opportunity. And I know NFTs are, they fit within decentralized exchange, kind of, because, it's a decentralized marketplace where you're trading back and forth tokens. So in some ways, NFT platforms are DEXs, I guess you could say. But at the end of the day, the larger space is decentralized finance. And so I read a really interesting article about Ethereum and its potential and decentralized finance. And what it was saying is that right now, the mainstream is actually starting to get interested in DeFi. We didn't see that in the run over the summer. We just saw the crypto degens. That's what we call them. It's people that will just throw money into anything, hoping they get returns. If they lose it, they lose it. It's the people that are, searching Binance Smart Chain, searching Uniswap, searching Dex tools, searching all those projects, and looking for ones that are super low caps, right? But I think that when the mainstream finally comes to DeFi, and you've got these people realizing, like, wait a second, I could have made 2% on Wall Street this week or this year, and I could take that same money and I can put it into, a staking platform, a yield farming platform, and I can get 15 or 20% back. Like, that's insane. When people really start to discover that those are great ways to make money, I think they're going to come in mass to DeFi. So this article was really encouraging, saying, like, hey, with as big of a run as we had with DeFi over the summer, the mainstream wasn't even in it. And then you think, like, oh, if retail investors and mainstream comes in, like, how much bigger can DeFi get? And this is, to me, decentralized finance is cryptocurrency. Like, right? It is what it's about. Bitcoin was supposed to be the first layer of the money, right? Well, DeFi is crypto meets money. It's blockchain meets money. So it's obviously, in my opinion, the biggest opportunity out there. And I think a lot of those projects can be, I guess, bear market proof. That's not really true. No, don't say that. There's no such thing as a bear market proof project. Okay, anybody that tells you that's crazy. But what I mean is, they have a chance to continue their use case over the bear market, and people still get excited about returns because it's making money. So, to me, that's the number one opportunity.
Also, I heard a theory on Twitter regarding DeFi, like, because Ethereum is obviously doing great, there's going to be a wealth effect for Ethereans. They're going to feel like they have a lot of money, and they're probably going to put some in DeFi.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, that's why I did a video a couple, maybe it was a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago, talking about what I think the top coins were going to be in the next week or so. And it was all projects related to Ethereum. You had Uniswap, Aave, and Polygon. And then sure enough, they all pumped last week. So there's definitely a network effect, but there's also, like, a larger speculation effect that occurs when Ethereum is doing well, is you're going to see projects connected to Ethereum doing well. And not only that, like, let's say Saks guys, like the Maxis hate it, but the Berlin hard fork that occurred a couple weeks ago or last week, whatever it was, for Ethereum, it worked. Like, gas fees are much lower this week than they were last week. And so that gives promise also for ETH 2.0, that it's actually going to be able to solve all these problems. Look at the London hard fork that's coming in July. They're going to burn billions worth of dollars of Ethereum. And so when Ethereum's hot, these other projects do well. Anything connected to it does well. And so I think with that lowering of the gas fees, and we continue to see that process over the summer, I think we are going to see anything connected to Ethereum, like, absolutely crush it. I still believe by the end of this bull run, Ethereum is going to be a household name, just like Bitcoin.
I think it's pretty household at this point. I mean,
it's getting close. Yeah.
Well, like, so last time you were on our channel, you jokingly called yourself an Ethereum maximalist. I take it you're still just as bullish. What are your thoughts as far as price? Yeah.
So I mean, I have nothing that I've seen to make me change my prediction for Ethereum. We were a little bit early on calling it $2,500 ETH. It took an extra couple months, but we got there, and now it's exploded up to 3,500. I mean, I don't know when people are watching this, but as of this morning, it was there. It had a little bit of a pullback, so we don't know, but it looks like $4,000 is pretty achievable for Ethereum even though Bitcoin's not doing that great. So I'm looking at, by the middle of June, a $5,000 Ethereum. I'm looking at, by the end of August, a $10,000 Ethereum, and I still believe it can get to $27,000, but sometime between Halloween and Thanksgiving. So I think Ethereum is going to stay number 2, and there's so many, I guess, good vibes, as the kids say, right? There's so many good vibes about Ethereum now. These gas fees have gotten lowered that I think that's going to loosen up some of the stranglehold that the negative narrative of gas fees has had on it. So I think that's going to, have a big effect.
What do you think is the bare minimum Ethereum can reach this cycle? Like, bottom line, it's got to reach this at the top.
$10,000, like bare minimum. There's no way on earth. I said I'd shave my head, but I'll shave my head on New Year's Day if it doesn't hit $10,000 by the end of this year. Now, it'll probably be a very good chance it could be lower than $10,000 like by the end of the year, because it would have had to blow off top and drop 50% or whatever. But I still think $15,000 to $20,000 is extremely achievable and likely. My $27,000 prediction is just, when you start doing the math of the market cap, like, it's a pretty bullish, pretty moon boy prediction. But I do think it can get there. And I think that we haven't seen the retail investor. Right now, we're seeing the retail investor in general interested in crypto. I saw an article that said 64% of people in America are interested in cryptocurrency. That is insane when you think about that number, right? But they're still not investing. Or if they are, it's very minimally, maybe on Robinhood or PayPal or whatever. When the true retail investor comes in, the prices are going to go insane. And that's what we're going to see. The thing that people don't think about when you think about a $27,000 Ethereum is, we're not going to have a $27,000 Ethereum the same day that we have a $320,000 Bitcoin, right? You're going to see a $320,000 Bitcoin, and then you're going to see it drop 25% and that money flow into Ethereum. So you're not going to see the peaks of both of these at the same time. So, but I definitely believe $10,000 is definitely the minimum. I think $15,000 to $20,000 is extremely likely, and then anything above that is bonus.
This next question I want to spend a little time on, because as much excitement we're seeing for Ethereum and ETH 2.0 and the DeFi ecosystem on ETH, we're seeing some substantial excitement for Cardano. So would you give me your updated thoughts on Cardano in 2021, and what you would say, how many Cardano ADA do you need to be quote unquote wealthy?
Yeah. So in my opinion, I love Cardano. And so I feel like a lot of times I make this joke that I'm in a love triangle with Ethereum and Cardano, because when Ethereum's doing good, we're talking a lot about Ethereum and the Cardano people hate us. And then when Cardano is doing well, we're talking a lot about Cardano and the Ethereum people hate us. But we can love both, we can believe in a future, like you can believe that Google and Yahoo were both going to be, take up market share in search on the internet, right? But of course, most people, Google was better, has a higher market share. A lot of people know that, obviously. But in the decentralized platform space and the decentralized Web 3.0, you're not going to just have one player. That's just not going to be the way that it's going to work. So I believe there's room for Ethereum and Cardano and Polkadot to some extent. I don't like Polkadot as much as I like the other two by any stretch of the imagination. I also love Solana. I love Elron. Those are two projects that I really like as well. They're in the smart contract space. But for Cardano specifically, I've said this for a long time, even when Cardano gets super mega bullish and we start looking well, where can it get? I've stuck to my same prediction, which is about somewhere between $8 and $9 for this bull run. And I think we're still going to get there for sure. But the thing is Cardano is a play for 4 years from now. I think we're seeing kind of a mini, not mini, that's not the right word. We're seeing a macro altcoin season, so to speak, when it comes to cryptocurrency in general. The last bull run, obviously Bitcoin was pumping, the institutional money came in, started putting money in Bitcoin. That was kind of the end of the bull market, right? This bull run, the institutional money is in Bitcoin, but now it's starting to flow down to Ethereum. And we're starting to see a company like Me2, MEITU over in Asia, put a bunch of money in Ethereum. We're seeing Ethereum ETFs. We're seeing institutional channels. We're seeing the futures contracts that got released on Ethereum. They went from, I think it was 27 million at the end of Q4 last year to 3 billion at the end of Q1. Insane institutional demand. I think in the next bull run, I think we're going to see that institutional demand start moving to the other coins. So you're going to see Cardano start getting some benefits, Polkadot, Chainlink start getting some of those benefits. And then who knows? I don't know if the institutions will eventually, put money in microcaps like we see in the overall crypto market. But once that institutional money starts flowing into, Cardano and these other projects, that's where the big money is. Like the retail investors push the blow off top. The institutions are what have made this, and the corporations as well, not just institutions, but obviously MicroStrategy and, all Tesla, right? We saw what Tesla did with a buy. Hopefully we're going to get news of, more buys from corporations over the next few weeks as these earnings reports come out. Like I know maybe Walmart, well, that's what a lot of people are saying. I think May 18th is the day that we get that report. But I think what we're seeing is for the next bull run, that's where Cardano's true potential is. So when you start looking at how high that price can go, I mean, it's hard to say for the next bull run, but if it were to get to $8 to $10 on this one, you could conceivably see, somewhere between $50 and $100 in the next one would be achievable. And so in that case, if you say from basically, let's just say it's at $1 now, it's higher than that, but at $1 to $100, like that's 100x. So you start working backwards and figuring out how much Cardano you would actually need to be a millionaire. And, the number I would think would be somewhere around, somewhere around 10,000. I think for 10,000, you could probably become a millionaire down the road with Cardano. But it's certainly not going to be during this bull run. So
do you think speed is a factor? How much of a factor do you think the speed of launching these smart contracts of Charles Hoskinson and IOHK and Cardano, staying competitive with Polkadot, who is starting to form their DApp ecosystem now? How much of a factor will that play?
I don't think speed's that important because we're about to go through a bear market, so a lot of these projects are built during the bear market. They come to their final form, if you will, during bear markets. That's where the most work is done because I know you guys can relate to this. Like I'm exhausted, during a bull run, like even as just a YouTuber, like I'm exhausted. Like I can't imagine for all of I can't wait until we have a bear market so I can like go on a real vacation and not have to wake up and make videos or, whatever. Like I love what I do. Don't get me wrong. But like I've had to put off stuff that I really want to do. Like I'm going on a 2-week trip to Alaska. Like can't do it this year. I have to do it next year in the bear market. So I think that, for projects, they're going through the same thing. They're exhausted right now. And so I'm sure they can't even see in front of their face. They're working so hard. So I think once the bear market comes in, they can kind of have a reset and look. And so like, if this were a different part in the cycle, like I think that would matter more. But right now, everything's speculative, right? Like we're not investing in Cardano because we think it's going to be a great platform. You're investing in it because you think it's going to be worth more by the end of this year than when you're putting money in. But I think once we move to the next bull run in 4 years from now, you are going to look, there's going to be more, connectedness, if you will, between the actual use case, the market share of the platform. So because of that, like I think Cardano, they had the slow roadmap. They're kind of known for that. And it is a little discouraging that they have to keep delaying stuff over and over and over again. But you got to admit, it seems like a pretty smart plan. Like launch it the peak of the last bull run, right? Like launch the coin, the peak of the last bull run, and have it come to its, to where it is now during the peak of this bull run, where it's actually like decentralized and having the governance and smart contracts and all that. Like, it seems like maybe that was the plan the whole time, to really be launching it during the heat of the bull run. So sometimes I think he planned it all. Like honestly, I think he planned the entire roadmap of Cardano, delays everything to be based upon the peaks of these markets. So I think we'll see the same thing in the next one. And, it's exciting to look at where Cardano and Polkadot are from the perspective of they're both about where Ethereum was in 2018, towards the end of the year. Ecosystem starting to fill up, starting to develop, but it's nowhere near where it's going to be. So it's going to be several more years where we can really judge how big these ecosystems are. And Cardano's got the most engaged community in crypto, so anything they launch is going to do well. They got a lot of launch pads coming out soon, Card Starter, Occam Finance. We're invested in both those projects. Excited to see all the projects launching on Cardano.
Cryptocurrency YouTube usually is sort of the first line of defense for new people coming into the space and learning about cryptocurrency. From your POV, what are some of the top 3 mistakes new cryptocurrency investors should avoid?
Yeah, I would say the number one mistake that a lot of people, participate in, I guess you can say, or make, is not understanding what they're investing in. And I think that, it's very easy when you come into the top of a bull market to make money on anything. We know that. But all those people that are making the money at the top, they're going to lose all the money because they don't understand what they're investing in. They don't understand the long-term potential. They don't understand the difference between, Safe Moon and, Ethereum. Like they're just, to them, it's just something somebody told me to put money in. So you have to understand what you're investing in. That's number one. And number two, I would say getting lost in between the euphoria and the depression, because right now we're in euphoria. I mean, we're not technically yet, right? But everybody's excited. People are making money. Like things are great. In the bear market, it will be like depression. And when you get caught in between those two emotions, it affects what you're doing. And so at the top of the market, you're putting money into stupid stuff you've never heard of, just trying to, whatever. And you're talking about, oh, I'm going to be a millionaire in 3 months. In the bear market, you're looking at an Ethereum that's $80 and you're saying, oh God, it's overvalued. Like, oh, this is so terrible. Like imagine like getting, a 40X or whatever it is approximately. If you would have bought Ethereum when I think it went down to $79 or something at the low point after the March crash. So the thing is you really have to understand the weight that your emotions have on you in investing. I mean, really, that's what charts are. Charts are 100% psychology. That's only tracking human behavior and its tendencies to buy or sell based upon the value of an asset going up or down. I mean, that's what charts are. So those would be the two things. Then the number three thing I would say is just not taking profits. Understand, like I'm taking profits now, a significant amount. I mean, we bought a new building, so we pull money out to do that. That's a tangible asset in real life that I have now that won't be going away. So taking profits along the way when you're making money, like greed takes over people. You just say like, they always say like you have two different types of people, when they start making a lot of money. Like one person, they will be more like, I want all the money and I'm going to take all the money and I'm going to keep it all to myself. And they're going to become very like miserly and stingy and whatever. And then you got other people that you start making a lot of money. You start looking at like how you can help people and how you can, how you can grow your wealth. But it's not like, where it's all you think about. And I think that for the people that get really stingy, they get way too greedy with things. And I think like, as long as you're able to take your profits and help people or help your family or whatever the case may be, you're going to be in a good spot. When you start getting to a point where you want to keep every single penny, every single dime for yourself, you stop taking profits because you just think, oh, well, if I take, 5% out here, eventually that could grow into much, much more down the road. And that's how people get, that go from being worth nothing to $1 million in a year and then back to nothing in a year. So I would say you definitely want to take profits along the way, whether it's a few percent. Just use common sense. If you have a coin that goes up 300 or 400%, that's incredible money. Like you'll never make that in the stock market. You'd have to compound your gains on the stock market for like 20 years to be able to get returns like that, I guess. I mean, I invest in Coinbase, that stock, Peloton, that's another one I have. And like, it might be able to double in price in 5 years, I was told. So like, we're so lucky in cryptocurrency that we have these kind of life-changing gains that we can get. You got to understand that market cycle. I mean, that's kind of part of being educated and understanding the emotions. But the number one most important thing to learn in crypto is the market cycles. And that's how we all have been able to predict these price rises. Like our numbers may not be the exact same, but we all knew this was coming. It's because we understand the history. So understanding the history, getting educated, learning to take profits, and not getting caught in the emotions of the market, I think are the key ways that you're going to be able to do well in cryptocurrency.
Cool. And you're famously known for being the largest cryptocurrency influencer on YouTube. I know you've made it very clear, as well as our channel, but what responsibilities come with being a crypto influencer?
Yeah, so like, and you know this, the more you grow, the more responsibility you have. And I think there's a lot of stuff that goes on, on the internet, on social media, where people, they just like, they make up accusations. There's like, one guy said on Twitter today, he's like, oh, or I think it was on your thread about what to ask me. Or the interview was like, just ask him like how much money it would take for him to shill a coin. I'm just like, what when it comes to sponsorships on these channels, like I turn down 98 to 99% of anyone who contacts me. There's no amount of money that I would take. I turned down $1 million for a review one time. And it's not about the money. It's about the responsibility that I have to my audience and how much and how deeply, passionately I care about every single person that watches my channel. And I don't want any person out there to ever lose money. Now, we understand the markets work. Like, we'll never be able to prevent people from losing money, right? I had a guy who, he came to one of my meetups and he said, listen, I know we did a Q&A, and he said, I understand that you always tell us like, don't FOMO into the top of coins, find a good entry, but I FOMO into all the coins. What do I do? It's like, don't FOMO into all the coins. You have to understand that, like, look, when a coin starts to get popular, whether it's from awareness from Twitter or a YouTube video or whatever it is, half the people that are investing in it in that short period of time, they're going to make money because they're going to turn around and they're going to sell it to the other people that are buying it at the top. And that's the way that a market works. It's just like poker, right? Like in poker, if you play the same way consistently over time, you'll make money. If you look for good entries consistently in crypto, you'll make money. When you're buying at the top, you're not going to make money. And so the responsibility is not just to, make sure that, we're not just doing things for money. It's not just to make sure that we're talking about coins that have good upside. Certainly, sometimes we can talk about coins that we think have potential. We don't know how they're going to do. But it's also giving the message of the right things to do to people. Like one thing that I'm very, very proud of is that, people come up to me at meetups, or like in Miami, we were at the Miami Crypto Experience Conference, and we had hundreds of people, talk to me during that time, and from my community and stuff like that. And they would all say, if they happen to talk to me about like Bybit or about leverage trading, like they would always say, like, I know you always say, like, don't get wrecked, use your stop losses, be responsible, but yada, 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 they're getting the message, right? But everybody's not going to be perfect. Everybody's not going to do everything the right way, but making sure that we're talking about the right stuff, we're giving the right messages to people so they understand the best practice. But you guys know as well as I do, like, getting wrecked is kind of part of being in crypto. That's how you understand. That's how you experience things that down the road will make you a lot more money because you make mistakes along the way. So, making mistakes along the way in crypto is part of it. And having people feel like they have a place to go and talk and not feel judged. Like, there was a guy who, in my chat one day while I was live streaming, he said that he had just sold all of his Ethereum for Cardano. And that was when Cardano was at like $1.70, at the very top. And a lot of people in the chat were like, oh my God, that guy's such an idiot. You told us not to do that. And blah, blah, blah. What a dummy. Like, can't believe you did that. And I was like, okay, guys, stop. Listen, this is not a place where we're going to be here and we're going to criticize people for their decisions and say, like, you're an idiot because, you didn't do exactly what I said. Like, that's a process. People have to learn that. And so having a community, and we have one of the strongest communities in all of crypto. I love you guys. I love you guys. I believe I have the strongest community in all of crypto. And, part of that is feeling like accepted to, like, it's okay if you make mistakes. Like, it's okay if you do the wrong thing. If you get a bad, like the guy said at the meetup, like he said, like, you tell me not to FOMO, but I do. Like, what do I do? Don't answer that in like a condemning way. Our biggest responsibility in crypto is bringing more people into crypto and shepherding those people and making sure they're having a good experience and they're not going to come in and just turn around and leave because they lose money. So there's a lot that plays into it. I spend, a lot of nights thinking about my responsibility and just how much say we have over what happens in cryptocurrency. And it's a beautiful thing that we have the chance to shape narratives and have people understand that this is an accepting community. This is not a place where we're going to like trash people all the time. So that's definitely something I think about a lot.
Two things I just want to say. One, you do have a very passionate community. Us as well. I want to encourage the audience watching right now, check the comment section and see which community is stronger. We will see. And two, I've often compared it to watching crypto content creators is sort of like watching sports broad commentators like Stephen A. Smith or Skip Bayless, where you watch them to get a lay of the land and understand, but also I would never place a sports bet based on something Skip Bayless said. That's me.
Yeah.
Everything else, it does come with insane responsibility. And as long as you disclose any sponsorship,
100%.
That's the most important thing for me.
Yeah.
But by the way, dude, I totally understand what you mean. It's like you can like try and impart people what you've learned, your best insights, but ultimately they just do whatever they want and go into degens. Like we just went to like a Bitcoin meetup, a Bitcoin specific meetup, and we plugged it on our channel. So like anybody in Southern California can come. And I told everybody, hey guys, have a little bit of tact though,
Yeah.
proudly say that you came because of Altcoin Daily, but don't go there and shill your low cap gem because this is a Bitcoin meetup. But still, like I was surprised how many people came from our audience, and still like plenty of people were like, but what do you think about Cardano? What do you think about Polkadot? I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. And also, dude, I'm always surprised, like when I meet people in real life who say they watch our channel, and I say, what channels do you watch? There are always tons of people always say I watch Altcoin Daily and I watch BitBoy. And that's just what people tell me. I'm always surprised, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I know a lot of people, you guys know, we're friends. Like we're friends in real life, and we know each other pretty well, and, haven't seen each other in person in a while. Can't wait to do that eventually. But, always encourage people, like, you guys are a great channel and I love your community. And, I'm always like very glad when I hear people are listening to you and, some of the other channels out there that are giving good information, because I know you're good dudes, I mean, that's what it boils down to. And, but you know how it is, like the social media is vicious, like they're out there, like, people say a lot of stuff about me. I'm just like, literally not true. They just say stuff like they don't understand it. And people that watch our channel, people that are in our communities, like they know the kind of people that we are and they know what we stand for. And, as long as we're in this together and we're bringing more people in, I mean, it's all good. So that's good to hear that, a lot of your, people you see listen to us, a lot of people that I see listen to you. So.
Ditto.
All right, I think we got two big questions left. Austin, which one you want to hit first?
I think I'll let you choose.
Okay, Ben. Top 3 to 5 low cap altcoins on your radar in May 2021. Give it to us.
Yeah, so there's 3 projects that I've been like pretty bullish on for a long time. And 2 of them are finance coins and one of them's not. And we've done videos about these, a lot of these in the past, but APY Finance and Frontier and Nord Finance. These are projects that all have a lot of big backing. We were talking earlier about big backing, like Coinbase backs Frontier. There's a lot of big venture capital money in APY Finance. And it's like sometimes what happens is you have some of these bigger projects that are, or you have some of these lower cap projects that have the big money behind it. And you're like, what is going on with these coins here? Like, why are these not exploding yet? And it's like, there's some stuff in play in crypto that a lot of people can't really understand, where some things you front run, like you talk about some of these projects that do really well and, or that should do well based on their backing, based on their tokenomics, based on their fundamentals. And then they start to get a little push and then they kind of disappear. And a lot of people are like, what happened? Did you sell all your coins? Or, do you still like this because you don't talk about it every day? Crypto, a lot of stuff is timing. And so, when we find a lot of these projects that we think are very low cap gems that have a lot of upside, we're not going to talk about them every single day, but there will be a time where they have their part in the cycle. I would say another project, those are kind of 3 I kind of grouped together as 3 projects that I really like, that I think are going to do really well. 2 of them are finance. Frontier, has a wallet. It's got like I said, Coinbase backs it. Like that should tell you everything you need to know. Another project that I really like, it's not necessarily like super low cap. It is outside the top 100. Right now it's coming in at, let me see what number it is right now. Right now it's coming at 299. So the top 300 Eternity chain. I love Eternity. It's a great project. And a lot of people have seen it go straight down. And we started talking about it. It started doing really well. They had a lot of big releases, a lot of big NFT releases. People were excited about it. And then if you look at the chart, it peaked out at the end of March and it was just like stair step down. Boom, 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 boom. What it was is that, you know, a lot of these are private sales and they have a lot of big investment money into it. And then they have what's called vesting schedules. And so over time, a certain amount of the coins get released to the investors. And a lot of times they're like once a month, once a quarter. I'm in one that's a 5-year vesting schedule. So we don't get all of our tokens for 5 years. But Eternity chose a very interesting strategy, which was they were going to release their private sale every week for 12 weeks, and then it was going to be over. And so I think it was 12 weeks, or maybe it was 8 weeks, 10 weeks, whatever it is, it's over now. All the tokens are out there. So now we've seen the price bottom, and it'll start going up. This is an NFT project that, you know, they work with Fernando Tatis of the Padres. They had a Muhammad Ali collection. They've got a lot of big names. Tony Hawk, the Winklevoss twins, once again, are behind that one. So that's one that now should have hit a bottom and should be climbing back up. It was doing pretty well up until, you know, the market dropped a little bit. But I think that's one that I'm looking at that I think is really well, you know, going to do really well. And then kind of in the same NFT for the fifth coin, I would say Super Farm. I mean, I love Elio. He's a good friend of mine. And, you know, we're actually looking at launching NFTs on his platform. And, you know, really, when you've got somebody like Elio that's got as big of a platform as he has, and he's all in on, you know, gaming and NFTs. He's been talking about gaming projects for a long time. He's talking about doing skins for different games through Super Farm. I think that's another one that's going to be vastly underrated. You have these projects that just launch, and they got a lot of hype. You guys know this. But what happens is then they have to actually put out what they're going to put out. And there's a period of waiting there. And I think that's what we've seen with Super Farm is out the gate, it did real well. And then they've been waiting to put out their beta launch. You know, they're launching, their launch pad is coming out very soon. Or maybe it's out now. I can't remember. I didn't watch the video, but I saw he was talking about their launch pad. But this is one that we are going to be launching NFTs on, not our own NFTs. We're working with, you know, a lot of, you know, actually just had a call with an NBA team a few minutes ago. I've got, you know, several other celebrities and athletes that want to do NFTs with us. So that's one platform we're going to be launching a lot of those on. I know a lot of people are looking at the same stuff. So those would be 5 that I'm looking at right now that I think are going to do really well. The first 3, I'm looking at doing really well over the rest of this bull run. I think those other 2, Eternity and Super Farm, you know, probably over the next 3 months are going to kill it.
So you're trying to form partnerships, and you are forming them with celebrities or athletes or notable people, and you guys are going to make NFTs together, and you chose Super Farm. Why?
Yeah. Well, when you think about, I know a lot of the connections that Elio has with a lot of the celebrities that he's working with and a lot of the big names, right? But when we're looking at something that is going to be a launch pad, okay, what are you really looking for? Well, you're going to want to look for something that's going to get a lot of awareness, right? Elio has a launch pad and he's got a gigantic channel and a huge platform. So because of that, he has a way bigger platform than any other NFT project, right? Like, who do the NFT projects go to? They come to us. They come to us for promotion. So when you got Elio that's done all the groundwork, and plus I just know he's a good dude, so I trust everything he does. You know, when you think of that platform that he has and how much his NFTs have crushed it, anything he's launched of his own NFTs have done so well. It's easy to see that you've got that awareness combined with the know-how of doing it, along with he's got the deep passion of this. He's been telling me about NFTs for years. Like, he's been pounding this into my brain that this is going to be the next big thing for years before it even was a big thing. And it was even on our, you know, on our radar. Of course, a lot of people know, like, you know, I've got the comic series and stuff like that. We're having an NFT comic book. We had a wax release. This was what the channel started as, but like doing them as NFTs wasn't on our radar until last year. And so, you know, I definitely think that it's a platform to watch. And, you know, I know a lot about kind of the inner workings of what he's doing. And so for us, that's one that we're definitely looking to do launches on. So, you know, why would you go to, you know, another platform to launch something that's then going to go to other YouTubers and ask them to promote it? So I think there's a lot of built-in synergy there. Along as, I mean, I value relationships as well. So that's a big part of it too.
I understand. He checks a bunch of boxes, the project, and you just know him and you trust him, the familiarity, so you're going to work with him. I get it.
And I just want to say, you know, we like him too. We do own some Super Farm And for me, it's like, as not a developer or not a traditional coder background, I look at the team, and like for me, that's a large majority of the checkboxes I need to fill to be like, okay, they seem like it's in capable hands. But next question. Elon Musk is hosting SNL tonight, even though we're filming this a few days earlier. And he has confirmed that Dogecoin will be mentioned. How significant is this to the Doge army? And should Doge holders be worried about a massive dump later tonight?
Do you guys hold any Dogecoin?
I do not.
But
Is that a no for you too, Aaron?
It's a no. It's a no. But I'm surprised some of my smartest friends who understand what Bitcoin is are also like Ethereum, but don't really do too much else. They're like into Doge. They're like excited about it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. I bought Dogecoin at about 1 cent, and I sold it at 8 cents, and I thought it was a genius. And I had bought about $10,000 of it at a penny. I sold it a little bit along the way, so I had made probably $50,000 or $60,000 on that, and that was back when like things were going super crazy. I did not buy any Doge after that until last week, and over the weekend on Saturday, I bought $80,000 worth of Doge at 36 cents. Right now, at the time of this filming, it's 55 cents. So I have been anticipating this huge Doge pump over this week. And for me, it's like looking at risk versus reward. At over 50 cents, I would not buy Doge. At under 50 cents, where you say, I think it can get to $1 in the next few months, possibly, especially with this week, with this stuff going on. It always got to get to 75% or 75 cents for me to double my money on it. I know the math, if you just ignore the math, it's crazy. I know, right? Because you're like the market cap, like how in the world can it get to that? But yet it just keeps going. And so for me, I look at it more as like short-term trades. And so probably by the time people are watching this, I probably all sold on my Doge because I want to sell it before Saturday Night Live, not after. And that's something you just learn in crypto. Like you buy the rumor, you sell the news. The rumor is Doge on Saturday Night Live, but what if they come out and they mock Doge on Saturday Night Live? Like, because I mean, really Elon Musk's whole thing with Dogecoin, if people don't get the bigger thing he's saying, his bigger social commentary, it's all money's a joke. Like that's what he's really saying, is that the dollar is just as big of a joke as Dogecoin. So let's just all buy Dogecoin. That's kind of his message in this, is our whole financial system is a mess. And so because of that, who knows what they're going to do on Saturday Night Live? Maybe it just gets a mention. Maybe he just wears some Doge ears during his monologue. Like, I don't think there's going to be any kind of like groundbreaking news that, is going to make it pump. But if there's going to be attention, there's going to be awareness. I think the one thing that this whole entire Dogecoin pump over the last couple months, Wall Street bets, going back to all that, I think the one thing this has shown us, number one, kids on TikTok are stronger than people on Twitter, but number two is just how much we can really achieve and how much money there really is out there when we work together. Because it's just people buying Doge, they're really working together to help, move the price. In crypto and Bitcoin, Ethereum, like, I think we get too caught up in thinking we're smarter than everybody else. Sometimes, for sure. I know that's a big problem, is talking over people's heads and stuff like that. But if we could all just get our stuff together, like, we really could change things with cryptocurrency. Like that's the message I've gotten from this whole thing, is if you got all these kids that can all just kind of agree, like, let's work together and let's just buy all this coin and make the price go up. Like, hey, we could change the entire financial system. There's more of us than there are of them. There's more of us that want to change the system than the ones that want to keep it the same. It's really just all coming together and kind of, becoming one to do that, which the kids are better at than we are. So
I never would have, I knew Doge would be around this cycle and it would be talked about, but I never would have projected that it would have such legs this cycle when it was, in the news and it was talked about last cycle.
Four legs.
Dog legs. What are the odds, in your opinion, that Dogecoin will have the same sort of legs or awareness, 2 to 4 years from now, next cycle?
I mean, you gotta understand, Dogecoin does play a role in the crypto market. I mean, it's not just, I hate when people call it a joke coin, like, because really nobody's laughing, like trillions of dollars in market cap. It's absolutely crushing it. Or not trillions of dollars, I'm sorry, billions of dollars in market cap, is the number 4 overall cryptocurrency at the time we're recording this. So it's not really a joke. Like, yeah, the guy who started it, you know, he named it after a meme, but really that's all that it is. I think it does have a role with liquidity. It's the lowest price coin outside of VeChain in the top 20. So if you look at liquidity and trades and stuff like that, like a lot of people are using it. If you go look at the order books on Binance or Dogecoin, even before all this happened, it's insane how many Bitcoin is on each Satoshi. Someone wants to do a little fun experiment, go check that out. It'll blow your mind. Like, look at the number of Bitcoin per Satoshi on Dogecoin, and then go look at any other coin in the top 20. It'll blow you away. It'll really kind of change the way you look at it. So I do think Dogecoin does play a role in the overall crypto markets. Is it going to stay in the top 10 for the next 4 years? Absolutely not. Like, it will drop out of the top 10, but it'll probably have a resurgence at some point. You know, we've seen that over and over again. So I would like to say that Dogecoin is the first coin in 2021 that has actually exceeded my price prediction for it. So it's the first one that I actually hit and exceeded. It was 25 cents. I thought that was crazy, you know, but it's gone like well beyond that. So I guess nobody can call me a moon boy. Thanks, Doge.
But you are saying that with Dogecoin, this time is different and there won't be any bitter feelings.
No. You mean like in terms of there will be a bear market kind of for it, or what do you mean in terms of that?
No, I was just kind of joking, just because it's like, oh, next cycle, it's still going to be a thing. But of course, you know, you don't want to be holding too much Doge or any Doge in the bear market. I was just
yeah. And it's just like I tell people, I mean, you know, about meme coins and things like that, like, and really, I mean, like Litecoin's kind of a meme coin, right? Like Litecoin and Dogecoin, there's not that much difference between them, right? It's a community that likes it. Obviously, you know, Litecoin's got more more to do with Bitcoin. Obviously, it's a fork of the Bitcoin code. So it's got that going on. But like, really, it's just people that agree to send it back and forth. You know, that's all it boils down to. It's not that much different than Dogecoin. If you look at something like Monero, that's a privacy coin, obviously that's a lot different. But, you know, I think that it's got a role, and I think that, you know, it's never going to be the currency of the world, if that's what people are thinking it's going to be. But you got to accept it for what it is. It's just a currency like that. Like, it actually is really a currency. Like most cryptocurrencies, I call them crypto assets now. They're not supposed to be a currency, but Dogecoin is a currency for that community. It's exploded into something bigger. We just have to accept a meme coin for what it is, or even a currency coin for what it is. It's not going to change the world. It's not going to decentralize the internet. It's not going to cause anything to be censorship resistant. It's not a privacy coin. It just is what it is. So as long as you're investing in it from that perspective and you don't have delusions of grandeur that it's going to be, you know, that America is going to be exchanging Dogecoin at Disney World for a Coke, then I think you'll be okay. You just got to keep it in perspective, and you certainly want to diversify. You don't want to only own Dogecoin, even though it has worked out for a lot of people. And I'm happy for the people that have made a lot of money with Dogecoin. It's been great to see.
Like I said, I have smart friends who have made money on it and all that stuff. All right. I think as we're winding down, I'd love to hear, Ben, just what's one of your favorite songs at the moment, and maybe something that people don't know about you, and just final thoughts to the Altcoin Daily audience.
One of my favorite songs. Wow, you really hit me out of left field with this one. I listen to hip hop pretty much exclusively. A lot of people
Atlanta hip hop.
I like Atlanta hip hop, obviously. Yeah. I listen to when I drive my truck, I listen to country. Okay. When I drive my Dodge Demon, I listen to hip hop. That's the rule. The kids know the rule. So they don't necessarily like riding in the truck that much. But my favorite song probably is Moonwalking in Calabasas. That song hits really hard. It's a good one. The words are really good. There's a part where he says like something to the effect of, "Oh, I heard your boyfriend's broke." That's the gist of the line. "Oh, I heard your boyfriend's broke." That's tough. Like, I really like that line. That's a good line. So that's, a lot of people don't know I'm actually quite gangster. I did think I was going to be a rapper for a large part of my life. So yeah, that's probably my favorite song right now. Love riding around listening to that one. That's tough.
Cool. Aaron's a big hip hop guy too. As am I.
Really?
As am I. Aaron's a Kanye guy.
Oh, I'm on a Kanye kick right now. Yeah, but I love.
You got to go through the cycles, just like crypto.
Definitely.
Ben, thank you for joining us. I always get such valuable insights and perspective when I watch your channel. So thank you for coming on ours. Final thoughts.
Yeah, final thoughts. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Can't wait. Are you guys going to Bitcoin 2021?
Is that in Miami?
Yeah.
We're not.
Oh, you're not.
Are you going to?
Yeah, of course. I go to all the conferences now. There's only been one. There'll be two now.
No, that's a Bitcoin only conference, right?
Yeah, they're probably going to try to assassinate me.
Yeah.
Are you
worried or like?
What's that?
Are you like bracing yourself? Like, how do you think the interaction is going to be with all the people there? Because they didn't even want Chamath to go.
Yeah, no, that's so crazy. Well, the thing about the Bitcoin maxi cult is that, they're actually quite confrontational and aggressive, but I'm more confrontational and aggressive. So I can't wait to see. I want some challenge. Like, come on, let's challenge me. Like, if you hate me, come tell me you hate me. Like, I want to hear that. And then, we'll see where it goes from there. But the thing is that, I know my community is going to show up in droves for that. Because my community shows up everywhere. So, I mean, we did a meetup in Las Vegas, had 300 people there. We talked about it for like a few days. So I know my community is going to be there. They're going to be strong. They're going to support me. And look, I like Bitcoin. I own more Bitcoin than anything else these days, actually, believe it or not. And so I support it. I'm just not in the cult. So if they don't want to accept me in the cult, it's like I told, TJ, my business partner, I told him, I said, listen, I'm going to show up. But if there's red Kool-Aid there, I'm not drinking it because I want to survive it. So, but they might use orange Kool-Aid and try to trick us. So yeah, that's it. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, and probably everybody's just going to go and have a good time, and nothing's going to happen. It's all going to be good.
Probably, yeah. I mean, that's what it'll be. I'm not scared. I know a lot of the Bitcoin maxis hate me, but it's a lot of it's in good fun. So, but I can't wait to see you guys in person one day. Whenever you guys come to the next conference, come out to California when things are back to normal here pretty soon, hopefully. I mean, I love your channel. I watch you guys a decent amount, and good luck on your channel growing. You guys will be at 1 million before you know it too.
Ben's links are down below in the description. See you tomorrow.